So despite the fact that Robert Mueller's testimony was essentially bombshell-free yesterday, many 2020 Democrats are convinced that the former special counsel has already made the case, actually, for impeachment.
Now, President Donald Trump did everything he could to obstruct justice.
The House of Representatives should begin impeachment proceedings against this president.
He is not exonerated. Look, we know for a fact that the president did everything that he could to obstruct the Mueller investigation.
Easy for them to say, right? Because they're out on the campaign trail. But the person who matters most is House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who is pushing back against her party's impeachment talk today. Watch this.
If we have a case for impeachment, that's the place we will have to go. The fact that why I'd like it to be a strong case is because it's based on the facts and the law. That's what matters, not politics, not partisanship, just patriotism. If it comes to a point where the cone of silence and the obstruction of justice and the cover-up in the White House prevents us from getting that information, that will not prevent us from going forward. In fact, it's even more grounds to go forward.
So she is making the case essentially that, look back at Watergate, right? And she said, you had tapes, right? You had a smoking gun. You had something that was found. They did, as Kennedy was saying, the actual investigating before they came to the point where they were doing the hearing moment. They had John Dean. They had people who were in the room. They had someone who actually said, oh, well, how did you know that that dialogue was so specifically that? Oh, well, because we have tapes at the White House. We record everything. Oh, really? And that opened a whole new can of worms. And just that's what was missing yesterday. And that's what prompts, Nancy Pelosi, I think, to say, whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, there was an argument being made, at least amongst Democrats I was talking to, that this is why you wanted Don McGahn to go first. So Don McGahn is really the linchpin to the obstruction of justice charge. And there was some talk about him in the first hearing of the Judiciary Committee. And he's going to be subpoenaed, and maybe we'll hear from him. But Nancy Pelosi is playing a political game. I think it's smart. It's not good for our 2020 prospects to be in the middle of an impeachment hearing. I think what she needs to do now is to stay the course on that, but also to not say, off the cuff, he's committed crimes or there has been impeachable conduct, but because now you have 85 or so members of Congress who are saying we want to impeach, so don't give them any fodder for it. Stick to your guns and go about winning your elections.
Jesse, what do you think is better for the for the president as he looks at all of this? Because he obviously enjoyed yesterday very much. He's going to go on and talk with Hannity this evening, and no doubt take a big victory lap. That would be 9 o'clock.
Got it. After Tucker.
That would be right.
Yeah, I think he has Pelosi on the show and Don Jr. as well. I'm here to help.
Okay.
Yeah, Tucker. I did. I said, yeah, Tucker and Don Jr.
Wait, who are you talking to?
No one.
Okay.
Right?
The omniscient narrator.
Okay, so I just think it's not good for the president of the United States to face impeachment. I don't think it looks good. I don't think it, historically on his legacy, and I don't think he wants to deal with it. But I just think impeachment's cheap. It's like sniffing paint. It's like a cheap, fast high, but it's not good in the long term.
It's actually kind of expensive.
Greg knows what I'm talking about with that. And this is what the Democrats do. Everything against the president, they're just trying to cut corners, whether it's, some expose that Maddow is teasing, or an investigation, or an impeachment. It's never mano-a-mano 2020 matchup because they know they don't have the talent to do it. And that's why they keep aggrandizing these dragon slayers like these Avenettis or these Muellers, because they think these are the guys that are going to take down Trump, and it's never the guy, and these guys keep folding.
Never put Avenatti and Bob Mueller in the same category.
Well, it's someone that people have said that they're going to take down Trump, and it never happens.
But it's interesting because people are constantly trying to draw comparisons between Watergate and this administration, and I don't think the comparisons are there. And every time someone new testifies, whether it's Michael Cohen or Robert Mueller or, possibly Don McGahn, it's not John Dean. And John Dean now has really lost his mind, and he has become so hyper-partisan that he's no longer a good person to provide color in this context.
But he is saying that. And there are special prosecutors from Watergate who are also saying that it is analogous in some, in fact, that it's worse.
Here's the difference.
Worse than Watergate? I've never heard that.
Really? You're not watching the right channels, Jesse.
Robert Mueller... No, he's absolutely watching the right channel. Jessica, you watch your mouth, girl.
Oh, my God.
No, but Robert Mueller is not Archibald Cox. This was not the Saturday Night Massacre. And there weren't a million co-conspirators. Getting caught in a perjury trap and, getting a procedural slap on the wrist and, maybe doing 2 weeks jail time, it's not the same thing as the characters and the events in Watergate. And by the way, Republicans found that out the hard way because they tried to draw the same comparisons with Bill Clinton, and that completely blew up in their faces, and Nancy Pelosi is the only one who realizes that.
The difference between, say, Trump and these Democratic candidates is that Trump led social media by the nose. But the Democratic candidates are being led by social media. So they're chasing all of these extreme views because they can't see how out of sync it is with the American public. They don't see this as Watergate. A lot of them are too young to even know what Watergate is. The larger problem with the Democrats is that there are no problems. The economy, you got jobs, you got peace. So the Democrats are out of collusion. So what's left? They have to invent problems, which means they take one topic from column A, which is immigration or law enforcement or entertainment or culture, and one from column B, which is racism, sexism, some kind of intersectionality, that create problems out of thin air. Because right now, everybody's got it pretty good. Their wages are up. Unemployment's historically low for everybody. Women, minorities, teens. Because Trump is busy solving the big troubles, there's only one problem left for the Dems, and it's Trump.
And they're going to reboot this Russia meddling again in 2020. And they're going to say it's happening, and that's the big takeaway from the hearing yesterday.
Said yesterday.
And that Trump's probably going to collude again.
Yeah, but I mean, interference is ongoing. Responsible people on both sides.
Who's interfering, though? Who's interfering?
Immigration.
Tech. All right, we instead of thinking about Russia for now, think about Google, think about Twitter, think about Facebook, because as the elections loom, it's going to be about the algorithms and the people who create the algorithms in order to manipulate results.
Well, like China, but that's what China has been doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what China has been doing, and they have been trying to box that entire aspect of our culture in so they can control it.
And that myopic focus on Russia is very dangerous because, as Robert Mueller said yesterday, they're not the only country that does this. Look at North Korea, look at Iran, look at China. That's something that, we don't want to be caught
And these are the same people that mocked us during the USSR Cold War, saying that we were myopic, when USSR is 8 times the size it is now.
And that mocked Romney for saying they were a big threat.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.